So 5S is one of the easiest, and it's also one of the hardest concepts to implement in lean manufacturing. It's great because it will help actually improve safety, productivity, and quality. Now, the 5 steps, it is a process, and I get asked a lot, is the order important? The answer is yes, it is important. The reason why is we don't want to say start with number 3, shine, before we sort things, which is step number 1, because then we're cleaning things that just need to get thrown away. They're not adding any value. They're a trip hazard. They're just in our way. Why are we spending time cleaning those or dusting them off? So as we go through this module, make sure that we keep in mind all 5 S's are important and that we do them in the correct order. So full disclosure, I hated 5S. When I was working for this Fortune 100 company, I got a promotion, I got my own office, I was extremely excited. I had no idea what 5S was, no idea what lean was, until someone came by and they were watching me work. Didn't announce themselves, I didn't know what they're doing. Then they made some notes and they put up an audit score on my desk that said 89%. And I said, what are you doing? And why did I only get 89%? Of course, why didn't I get 100%? What are you doing? And it was because I didn't have my telephone labeled telephone. I didn't label my things. So my response was, I know that's a telephone. Why would I need to label telephone? Telephone. So the person was new in the department, it turns out, and she was just trying to do her job. I was just confused. So she didn't get fully trained or taught the reason why 5S was important. So I said, fine, I'll take the 89%. I have more important things to do. I need to get back to work. I have a lot to learn. I just got this new role. So sure, label telephone, telephone. Why that's not important is because the telephone doesn't move. This one had a cord and it was connected to something and it wasn't shared. So it really didn't add value. So at first, yes, I hated 5S. However, I learned to appreciate it. And it's unfortunate what happened, but I'll tell you the story. We had a manufacturing plant and we did 5S, and this is still at that Fortune 100 company. We had one of our best employees who was at the end of her shift, running around real fast, trying to get everything done, and she tripped and tore her ACL. She had an accident and someone left the pallet out. The pallet was not where it was supposed to be. It wasn't, we weren't executing 5S properly. So I remember she had 2 small children. She came up to HR and she had to go on disability. She couldn't take care of her children. She had to have surgery. She was out for 11 months because we didn't sustain our 5S. And I was like, oh, that's why it's important to put things back. So ever since then, when I actually saw how it impacted the health and safety of our employees, I'm like, I'm going to take 5S more serious. So digging into it, the 5S, it really is for safety. And here's some data to support this, that it was just more than where I worked, but this is across the United States. Every 7 seconds, a worker's injured on the job. That's pretty remarkable. The more we learn about 5S, we'll learn that it actually helps reduce or eliminate the top 3 causes of workplace injuries, which are overexertion, so that's bending, twisting, reaching, doing those things that we try to eliminate. It helps when we sort, remove clutter. It helps reduce the amount of trips and falls. And then getting struck by objects or equipment is number 3. And when we standardize things, we won't trip over them. That's when we label where to walk, where not to walk. So standardization helps with those. So implementing 5S really does help with safety. So I'm just going to run through the 5 S's real fast, get us some practice on it before we go on to the rest of the module. So 1 is we sort. It's great when we're thinking about safety. Remove trip hazards. Remove things that don't belong. The second S is set in order or straighten, but that's where we really look at ergonomics in our work area. Are people bending, twisting, reaching? What can we do to make it easier on our employees? Just like when we eliminated waste. So go out to the work areas, see if people are reaching, bending, twisting, and talk to them about it. Tell them what you're doing, how you're trying to make their job easier, and see if they have ideas. Okay? And these concepts apply to office areas, quality labs, any place. Then we want to straighten, right? Make the work easy. Organize what you kept after you sort. So this is simple, right? Having carts, having things on wheels is part of the solution. Okay, so after we sort, we set an order, straighten, then we get to shine. And how I think of it is we should be tour ready at all times. There might be a customer coming in, a potential customer coming in, there might be a tour. I'm always tour ready, where if someone visits, they're going to be impressed by how organized and clean and safe that my operation is. The fourth one is standardize. So this is where we make things visually obvious. This is when we can label things. Just make it super simple, make the work easy, but also creating standardized operating procedures, but making it visually obvious where things go and where people should go, what behaviors that we want to make sure that people are safe. Fifth one is sustain. What helps with sustain is by celebrating success, doing audit scores, creating competitions, and then just really making it part of the culture. So how to 5S? I need your attention here. Let's see if it really does apply. Let's see if it helps make things efficient. So I'm going to show a slide for about 5 seconds. I want you to focus on the tools that are going to be in this slide. Memorize them, and then I'm going to remove one, and then you're going to check to see which one I removed. Okay, so you have 5 seconds. Check out the tools. All right. So now I'm going to show you another slide after I removed one of the tools in there, and see if you can pick out which tool was removed. All right. So now I know it's difficult, so let's do a side-by-side comparison. Could you tell which tool is missing? All right, there it is. It's the red, has the red bottom, this is called the small screwdriver there. So even with the small amount of things, it takes a lot of time to find things. We're not very efficient when we're looking for things. That doesn't add value. So if we create something like a shadow board or shadow box, it makes things more efficient. So now let's see, if we have this kind of setup with just some foam cut out, see how long it takes you to find what's missing, right? Almost instantly. We could tell what is abnormal and what is normal in a matter of seconds. So what's missing and what's not. So in review, first thing we do is we sort, remove the unnecessary, clear out, remove clutter, think of trip hazards, right? Get rid of stuff, reduce the amount of distance you have to walk around things, right? You want to think what's in your way, how often is it used, is it helping make you money or make your organization money? If not, then why do you have it? It's just in your way, right? Then we straighten, we set an order, we start getting efficient, we simplify things, organize them, we could label things, right? So we make sure we organize what we kept after sorting, we make things close to our employees, the things that they use the most frequently, get them close. Okay, then the third one is after we've sorted out things, we straighten them, put them in an efficient workflow, then we make sure that we shine, that we clean. It's especially important with COVID-19 that we disinfect, that we do this daily. So we build it into a process. We give our employees times to do this. So we sterilize, disinfect, dust, sweep, right? I thought this was a cool picture because that is actually the CEO of the company coming in work early to help be a part of it. Really leading with humility there, okay? Well, we do 5S, we should help with autonomous maintenance. If we're a machine operator, we're listening for sounds, we're looking for oil, we're being proactive with changeovers or preventative maintenance. So we're shining to inspect. Okay, the fourth one is to standardize, create our procedures, clarify who's going to do what, how it gets done. We can make checklists. We use this as training materials, verification. So we really want to standardize to make sure that the first 3 S's are done efficiently, good quality, the way that we want them. So we standardize the whole 5S process. That way we have a baseline to improve. Okay, standardize how. Make it efficient. Here's some looks. The fifth one, again, is review is sustain. This is where we really want self-discipline within our teams. We want to make it a routine, part of our culture. If we don't sustain, it's going to go back to this, right? And that's common. That's when we stop after the first 3 S's. We go back to that. It's a headache. So the answer is to audit, have some fun, celebrate, and remember, this is not 5S. Countertop, we know that's a countertop. That is not helpful. So we train our team to be disciplined. We conduct internal audits. We let people rotate different tasks, talk about it, and then just make it easy to maintain. Last key point is make things visually obvious, where it is really easy to put things back. This is my daughter's kindergarten classroom where they didn't know how to read yet, but they could go and they knew exactly where to sit, where to put their coat, where to line up, just because it was so visually obvious. And if you look at companies that are successful with Lean or Toyota Production System, Toyota, for example, their work areas look a lot like a kindergarten classroom. They just try and make it easy and simple, less mistakes, less injuries. Okay, so employees may not know where back is. You don't have to keep telling them and reminding them. Just make it visually obvious where back is. So good luck on your 5S journey. It's one of the easiest, but also one of the hardest things to do. But once you get in a routine, it's going to make your life easier. It's going to improve safety, productivity, and quality of your workplace.